In this video, I'm going to show you how to stand out from your competition while at the same time creating a coaching product that is very easy to sell and has people wanting to buy from you rather than trying to persuade them to buy from you. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm the bodybuilding business mentor and I help coaches and gym owners get more clients into their business. I've been in the fitness industry for about 20 years. I own my own gym in Bristol and I have been coaching clients online for well over 10 years. On these videos, I try and share what I've learned from my own coaching experience, some of the business methods and some of the things that can help you not make the mistakes that I've made in the past and to grow your own business. So today we're going to talk about standing out from your competition. Now, in the online coaching business, there are literally thousands and thousands of coaches which your potential future clients could choose from. So why are they going to pick you over somebody else? Now, personality does go a long way for people picking coaches. People generally gravitate towards people they like and they can relate to. But even if you're the most likable person in the world and you have a great personality, if you can't clearly identify what your program does for people and how you're going to get them the result that they want, you're not going to get any clients come in. And the problem that coaches face is that with body transformations, such as fat loss, muscle gain, all those sorts of things, there's not really much variation on the theme. You're going to get people to eat better and lose weight, or to build muscle, or to be in touch with their body. There's going to be another 1,000 coaches offering exactly the same thing. And there's only so many ways you can repackage fat loss or muscle gain without it starting to sound like everybody else. And if you look at Instagram bios of coaches, they all say the same sort of thing. I help people get into shape without giving up this thing that they like doing. So coaches start to blend in, and when people are comparing who they want to work with, it generally does come down to the personality. Unless you can really stand out with what you do and say, it doesn't matter about them because no one else can do what I do. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to do exactly that. If you stick around to the end, I've got something you can screenshot and copy for your own business, which will help all this along really quickly. This is a process I've used with my physique coaching when I did physique coaching. I've also used it in my gym to make my gym stand out from other gyms in the area. We are one of the most highly priced gyms and we're still consistently full at about 93-94% of our capacity. And I use exactly the same process in my business mentoring to show people I work with how I'm going to get them their next 5 clients. Spoiler here. It's not sending 50 DMs, and there's nothing to do with ice baths, and definitely nothing to do with manifesting success. Okay, so how are we going to make your coaching stand out from everybody else? Well, first of all, I want you to think about this, selling the process as well as the result. Now, you might be thinking, well, I do sell the process because I say I'm going to get you fat loss or muscle gain without giving up these things or without doing this thing. Now, that sounds like the process, and it's technically true, but as we've just talked about, every other coach is doing exactly the same thing in their Instagram bio. So we need to go a little bit deeper than that and dig into what your coaching actually does for people, how it makes them feel, and why it's different from all the other coaches out there. The other thing that's really important here is that a lot of the people you'll talk to have had these fake promises before, that they're going to get in shape without giving up this, or that they're going to get shape and it's going to be really easy. And then they've done the coaching and found out, actually, yeah, it is really easy if you like doing 4 a.m. cardio and eating nothing but lettuce leaves. And you want to make sure that you're not perceived as one of those coaches selling fake promises which they can't deliver. So how are we going to do that? Well, first, I want you to think about washing your clothes. Do you use a washing capsule? I know that there are people who use powder still and liquid that goes in the drawer, but I hope you are aware, if you use those things, that there are washing capsules which you can buy. And a subdivision of these capsules is you get the capsules with the 3 little sections on, which is incidentally, that's the washing capsules that I use. So it fits nicely into this story. Now, if I was going to buy a washing capsule, I could either buy a capsule with all the liquid in one, or I can buy a capsule with 3 sections in. And one section does cleaning, one section does conditioning, and then the other section does something which I don't know what it does. But it seems very cool to me that they got 3 separate sections to do these 3 different things to give my washing the best clean ever. Now, the full capsule with all of it in one space also gives me the best clean ever. But for some reason, I want the 3 sections. If you think about it logically, it doesn't make sense to spend more money on the 3 sections than it does on the 1 section, because when you put it into the washing machine, it all gets mixed in. As soon as the water goes in, the capsule dissolves and it's all mixed in anyway. So why does it matter that there's 3 separate sections? With the 3 sections, the washing machine capsule company can say, we've got these 3 special things that happen in our capsules. One does this incredible cleaning, one does this incredible conditioning, And then the other does this other thing, which I don't know what it does. But it's our special formula that no one else does this thing. Yes, it's going to get you a great, clean look like all the others, but we're going to do it in a way that's even better. And I want you to think about that in your own coaching. If we can identify the things that your niche customer specifically struggles with, and you can say, I've got these 3 things that specifically deal with those things that you want, then I can get you this fat loss. I can get you this muscle gain result that you want. And I can get it better than the other person who's just selling calories in, calories out, and let's build some habits. And if we think about the coaching industry, the online fitness coaching industry, 99% of the coaching programs sell 3 things. One is something based on calories. So either eating calories for fat loss, eating calories for muscle gain. Then there's going to be expenditure, training, exercise, moving more, something which conditions a person to feel healthier and get better. And then the third thing is going to be consistency, doing that thing again and again and again. And as coaches, we know that consistency is the major problem that most people face, because anyone can do a diet for a day to 2 days. Anyone can go to the gym for 2 days. It's getting them to do that again and again and again, which gets them the results. The only exception I'd say to this is when you're dealing with hormone-specific stuff. So say guys who are, say, 40, 45 over, where testosterone or optimizing testosterone is a consideration, and also peri or premenopausal women where hormones can be an issue as well. And I have worked with some coaches who have 4 sections on their washing machine capsule because they're dealing with optimizing or managing these hormones at the same time. But most people will be dealing with 3. So we've got our 3 sections. What we need to think about is a way of presenting those 3 sections that links in with our customers' problems, what their aspirations are, and also the things that we're going to give them in order to get those things that they want. Now, to do this, you will need to know who your niche customer is, your ideal customer is. It's not enough to say, oh, my ideal customer is men over 30 or women over 30, because there are subdivisions of that, such as men over 30 who are dads, who are not dads. They own their own business, they're in manual labor, they have a wife, they're single. All these things matter, and it's up to you to make sure you are fully aware of all the things that your ideal customer may face in order to then create the problems and then create the solutions that we're going to give them. If you don't know what that is already, go and have a quick think about the people you'd like to work with. Can you get them a great result? And can they afford your coaching? That generally will steer you in the right direction. And then think about previous clients you've worked with, the people you most enjoyed working with, you got the best results for. Put all those together, mash them up into sort of like a genetic soup of sorts, and then whoever comes out of that, that's your ideal customer. That's who you want to be talking to. Once we've got our genetic hybrid of these super qualities that we want, we can then start creating the problems or thinking about the problems that they face. Now, what I want you to do is to get a sheet of paper. Any sheet will do. Or you can use the 100 Problems tool that I've got on Google Sheets. There's be a link in the comments below, and that will make it a lot easier for this. What I want you to do is think about 100 problems that this ideal customer is going to face. Now, don't be too general here. Saying stuff like, I don't know how much protein to eat, or I don't know how much cardio to do, is not enough. You need to be saying more specific stuff like, I don't know how much protein to eat to build muscle. I don't know how much cardio to do in order to lose fat and maintain muscle. So make sure these problems are not too general and they're more specific to what your ideal customer is trying to achieve. Once we've got 100 problems, and don't worry if you're not 100, 35, 40 will do for this exercise. Once you've got your problems, we're then going to separate them out into the 3 areas. So look at the problems, maybe use a highlighter if you want to, and look at the ones that are about nutrition, look at the ones that are about exercising or moving around, and look at the ones that are about consistency or habit building, those sorts of things. Put them all into a group, and this is where Chat GPT can be really helpful here. If you have put it on a spreadsheet, you can copy that, chuck it into Chat GPT and say, I want to divide it into these 3 sections. Just give me an overview of what these people are talking about. I've done this a few times with my gym when I'm surveying members to find out the main problems that they're facing and the main things they want from me. And when you've got like 800 odd members, that can be a real godsend. So if you've got Chat GPT, you can even use the free one if you want. I would do that, or you can do it manually if you want to as well. So get all those 3 problems and look at the language, look at the problems, look at the commonalities there. Now, what you can do is then from that, you'll be able to sort 3 main problems that people face. Now, as an example, when I was working with my niche, which was over 30s dads who own their own business, they've been training for 2 or 3 years. So I had a very defined niche. What we come up with was that the problems they were facing was something called mindless eating, in which they didn't know how to eat properly. They were sort of okay with their diet, but they weren't really sure what they should be eating. Then we had unproductive workouts where they would go into the gym and just potter about, do the same workout they'd done for 2 or 3 years and not see any progress. And it was becoming quite boring for them. And then we had the fact they couldn't stick to a diet. So they would start something, their life would get in the way, and they would stop it and they wouldn't be consistent. So those were the 3 main problems we talked about, and the language is based on the stuff that people have said to me and my clients have said to me, but also how they would talk. Then we looked at the solutions, and when you're thinking about solutions, it's a good idea to ask your target audience and people you work with what the ideal situation is. What we came back with for my niche was we had smarter eating. They would like to eat a bit better. They would like to be more knowledgeable about what they're eating, but it not be confusing for them. We had productive workouts, so every workout they went into the gym was awesome. They felt pumped, they felt ready, they felt strong, they felt as if they'd done something, and it was under an hour each time. And then we looked at being able to stick on a diet, being able to do a diet, be able to stick to their diet consistently. And those phrases, those problems and those solutions were then added into my business model to form my washing capsule, if you see where this is going. Now, it's important when you're designing these phrases that you don't use overcomplicated cliche jargon such as optimizing muscle protein synthesis. And I find that hard to say, and I'm an evidence-based coach. Or look at maximizing fat loss, because people don't talk like that. And if you say to someone, oh, do you know what we're going to do for you? We're going to maximize your fat loss and optimize your muscle protein synthesis. It might sound good on your business model, but that's not how they talk. They won't identify with that. You'll just have a disconnect straight away. Make sure you're talking in their language. Rather than optimizing muscle protein synthesis, we talk about getting as much muscle as possible. Instead of talking about maximizing fat loss thermogenesis, we can talk about getting 3 inches off your waist as fast as possible. Think about the stuff that they would say to you when you're writing this out, and it makes it a lot easier to relate to them in your content. Now, when you've got your 3 problems and your 3 solutions, we're going to think about the tools that you're going to give them in order to get this solution. So, for example, I used to have on-plan nutrition and off-plan nutrition for my smarter eating. And how that related was that we would look at 80% of the time sticking to the diet, but the 20% of the time where they wanted to have a curry or go out with their mates for a pizza or have a beer or whatever else they wanted to do, we had a plan for that as well. And again, that's just coming down to managing things like calorie deficit and making sure they're eating properly and all those sorts of things. But when you're relating it to terms that your ideal client would understand, the guys I used to work with understood on-plan nutrition, off-plan nutrition. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, that's when I'm sticking to my diet. Okay, that's when I want to go out for the weekend. They 100% understood that and they got it straight away. Now, you might think that all this process is a very long, drawn-out process. And why would I do that? Why can't I just talk about calorie calculators? And why can't I just talk about like eating well and stuff like that? Well, the thing here is if you do spend time on creating these problems and solutions and the tools that you're going to use, your content becomes incredibly easy to make. And your lead magnets to get people into your coaching and your business ecosystem becomes a lot easier because the tools that you use in order to get your clients results, they can become your lead magnets. It's very easy to take one of the tools that you give to your clients and say to people who aren't your clients, hey, do you want this little thing to help you with this small problem you're facing? This is something I already use with my clients, and it's going to be helpful to you because you're my ideal client. Obviously, don't say that to them, but that's how it works. Are you a guy over 30 who's struggling with going out on the weekends and overeating? I got a little thing that will help you. Do you want it? Yeah, I do. That's something I really struggle with. Great, here it is. Hope it helps. And then you can follow up that with a conversation about, hey, did you find that helpful? Would you like to talk a bit more about the other things that I do? You don't have to make things overcomplicated. You don't have to think about these brand new lead magnets which you're going to give to people. You've already got them in your coaching. And if you spent time doing this exercise, you will know exactly what the problems are, exactly what the solutions you can give to people, and how you're going to get them those solutions. You'll have it all there built ready, and all this will become incredibly easy. Now, I realize that's a whole lot to think about and a whole lot to take in at one go. So what I'm going to do is put a little diagram here, which shows you how I used it for my physique coaching, and also one here, which shows how I use the same model in my business mentoring. Feel free to take a screenshot and adapt it for your own coaching, but don't copy mine exactly because that's something that works specifically for my niche and for the people I talk to. It incorporated my language that I use in my content and the things that they would say to me. So take the inspiration, that's great. Don't copy it word for word, it won't work as well for you. Hope that was helpful for you. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I do try and reply to all comments. And if you want to watch more videos, I think YouTube thinks that this one might be useful for you. So give that a watch as well. I don't really do outros, so bye for now. I'll see you on the next video.